Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and right now I'm here to talk to y'all about not just one, well, yeah, not just one of my favorite horror franchises, but one of the ones that caused me a lot of trauma when I was growing up. Maybe about, damn near scared about everything. I'm talking about the latest installment in the Final Destination franchise called Final Destination Bloodline. And I'm going to throw in my thoughts about the other five Final Destination movies. Five? Yeah, five Final Destination movies while I'm doing this review. But before I get into it, remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch is where we do a little bit of gaming and sometimes a podcast / BrickWall. And Instagram is where I do mini reviews. I just did a mini review earlier today on Presents, so make sure you head over to the Instagram channel and check that out. That link is down below, or that information is down here on the ticker below. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Final Destination Bloodlines. This is the sixth installment in the Final Destination franchise. I have always liked this franchise. It's very ridiculous in the way that death is pretty much Rube Goldberg or whatever, because like he says, like the elaborate traps that just go sliding down, everything goes to the left and right, spills a cup of water goes over to the electric outlet parts. Not only does it electrocute you, but when the sparks flies on something, sets that on fire. While that's on fire, you're panicking. Now you're tripping over the aforementioned extension cord that was on the ground, and while you're tripping and falling, you slip in the water, and then while you're slipping and tripping and falling, you're getting electrocuted. Okay, and that's pretty much how you die. Oh, but you don't die from the electrocution. You fall because you fall out. You die because you fall out the window and get impaled by a fucking I don't know, like by a baseball bat that just happens to be standing upright for no godforsaken reason, except for someone put it there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave it there and see how long it stands up. I'll go get Chinese food," and then you're falling in the bat, cracks through your ribs and comes through your body, and you're sitting down there on the bat like this, all dead, and everybody's screaming, "Ah!" It starts everybody. But then it turns out all that was a premonition that you had. Now you have the chance to stop it. But because you try to stop it, you save a bunch of other people that are supposed to die right along with you. And now you got to figure out how to survive and how to keep death. That is literally the premise of Final Destination, no matter which one you watch. The first one had to do with a plane crash. The second one had to do with a highway accident. The third one had to do with a roller coaster. The fourth one had to do with, I believe it was the which one? All right, so the last two I can't remember. Because I know one of them was the roller coaster. The third one was the roller coaster. The fourth one was the shit. What was the fourth one? Let's see. Is anybody commenting on there? I don't know. I can't remember what the fourth one was, but and I can't remember what the fifth one was. I do know one of them had to do with the bridge collapse. But what was the one before it? Okay, all right. That's neither here nor there. This one is actually so this one, Final Destination Bloodlines, really does kind of switch it up. Because what it does is that instead of premonition being something that happens to somebody, and now we're following that person through the movie as the Final Destination movies have been. This one now follows somebody who is having a premonition that has to do with their relative, right? That has to do with their grandmother and a premonition that she had. So this movie did one thing I really did like when I think about it. It did double premonitions. So you see the premonition of the granddaughter, and then you see the premonition of the grandmother. And they're done at different times. I'm not going to really go into what happened, but if you've seen the trailers, you do know that it involved the skyscraper, sky needle, one of those, whatever you're supposed to call it. And the disaster that happens with that. So as it goes with these Final Destination movies, and I cannot emphasize this enough, if y'all saw my example I did earlier, then y'all know I'm about to get real fucking goofy with this. So the thing is, right, like, it'd be a lot of bullshit that's going on in the Final Destination universe. It'd be a lot. Like, excuse my French for that, but it'd be a lot of bullshit because you're not going to tell me that this fucking that I dropped this hair tie, and because I dropped this hair tie, somebody end up dying in a horrific explosion and falling 30 feet out the fucking sky. Like, you come on, like, that's some bullshit. Like, and they really, like, it's really funny how, like, because I said this before I saw this movie. I said, this is gonna be a comedy to me because I'm gonna bust out laughing at the ridiculousness that happens in these damn movies. Because I watched five before I saw this one. I watched five. Like, I just saw this one the other day, but there was like, I thought I was gonna see this opening weekend, so I did watch the other five, like five in a row. And let me tell you, I'm glad that I had the gap in between when I watched those five and when I saw this movie. I'm glad there was a good gap because I would have sat there like, oh wow, I bet. And I still kind of was like that, but I laughed my ass off because you're not gonna tell me that the thing that caused the accident that makes sense. And you want, like, it's so funny, like, because like that happened and this thing happened. Like, you see the trailers, they're jumping on the glass and the glass breaks, but while they're doing that, it's like the glass is very loudly cracking. And it's just, oh man, there's someone gets set on fire. It is just ridiculous. I was sitting like, yo, am I watching the Muppet Show right now? Like, what the hell? Like, it was so funny, but a bunch of, I said, come on, that's some bullshit though. That's some, I was so mad. That's some bullshit. And then the thing is, like, so, like I mentioned, that the granddaughters have the premonitions. Her thing is that she has to figure out how to cheat death now. And her only way to do that is to connect with her grandmother. Her grandmother's pretty much ostracized from the family because she saved everybody. And I'm not going to get any more into that because that is actually a very interesting, that's actually very interesting what they, how they explain that and how they kind of make, what is it? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember it, and I'm also trying to see if I saw. I thought I saw a comment. But I did. I thought I did, but I didn't. All right, my bad. So anyway, I'm doing this live on my phone, so I'm looking through stuff. But anyway, so where was that? Oh, so the grandma, she, the way her premonition and stuff and the way her life played out after that was really interesting. I thought that was really cool what they did because essentially, without getting too much into it, they kind of showed what could happen if one were to obsess over death coming to catch that body, and you just prepare yourself for that. Like, you set up countermeasurements, all that type of stuff, and it shows what that does to a person. And that's something I do like because Final Destination, for as gory and as crazy and as interesting as these movies were, they explored different concepts of how to prevent death, but they never really dove into, outside of the first one, they never really dove into what it was like to actually live and constantly be on guard from death and having survived so long. And then how that affects not only you, but it affects other people as well. It's a lot of interesting lore building here. And with that said, this will be the perfect time to say that they do give Tony Todd's character a backstory in this one, which is actually really, it's actually kind of nice and kind of sweet because Tony Todd, as we all know, he passed away earlier this year. Rest in peace to Tony Todd, the original Candyman, the voice of Venom in the Spider-Man game, and of course this staple character in the Final Destination movies. And so I won't really tell you too much about his backstory, but I will say that in terms of his send-off in these movies and as an actor and as a performer, he does get a very, very good send-off. And I commemorate that. I think that was really cool, the way he got his send-off. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was really, really nice, really, really beautiful. So again, shout out and rest in peace to Tony Todd. And shout out to the filmmaker for making his send-off so beautiful. That said, I will say that this franchise does have new ground to maybe do things differently, maybe show some different scenarios that can happen. Like, I thought about this interesting scenario where maybe in another Final Destination, they can show what it's like if you are a killer, but you're only killing because you're trying to, and they introduced this concept in another Final Destination, I believe it was 5 actually, where they say, like, if you kill somebody else, you get their years, or if you cause their death, you get their years added on to yours, so you don't have to die. So then think about it like this: what if there's a Final Destination where there was a serial killer and he was killing people and he was having different premonitions and shit like that? I think that would be a cool direction taking it, because now you have this fresh ground and you don't need to kind of go back to a person who, like Tony Todd was kind of like the, oh well, this is what you should do against death. You know, you could just have it just pop off like, yo, I was told once, or I figured this out that you could da 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 da, and then you know what I'm saying, like they like something like that would be cool to go just based off of the grounds this movie sets up. This movie does lay a lot of interesting ground for you to kind of look at the Final Destination universe differently in different ways after the events of this movie. Of course, the kills, I know you guys are thinking, well, what was the kills like? How did the kills go? Well, the kills in this movie, my God almighty, they were just as ridiculous and as gruesome as you would think. They could have went a little bit harder. But one thing I realized with the Final Destination movies is that they value the setup to the kill as opposed to the kill itself, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's more of the setup to how you got to that death. And their setups are really good. They had a misdirect on one of them. They had and then one of them was just like completely caught me off guard. They didn't know they were gonna do that. That was crazy. And it was some of them that was predictable. And the one at the end, let me tell you, because y'all know the final kill is always on some bullshit, because they always find out, oh damn, you mean I wasn't supposed to live through that? Oh damn, you mean I didn't cheat death? Oh man, you mean I was the last one to die? Like, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And the ending always has them die, thinking that they got a step ahead, but they didn't, and they end up dying. This ending right here, oh my God, like I said, if you thought the beginning setup was bullshit, oh my God, when you get to the ending, I was like, no fucking way. No freaking way are they sitting here about to tell me that this is logical for them. Like, it was so ridiculous, yo. That man Death got a vendetta against people. Like, it's crazy. Another thing I didn't mention is that again, this was in the trailers, that because the grandmother has stopped the deaths, she had, you know, a lot of people were saved, and they went on to have families and so on and so forth. So this movie kind of can tie, like you can see this movie as tying in all the Final Destinations if you want to. If not, it's kind of up for interpretation in some ways. But I see this as the one that ties them all together and pretty much says like, yo, everybody you watch is a descendant of the people that she saved. And so Death was going through people. He was going through the line with people and their families and stuff like that. So this does open up a different way for you to see the Final Destination movies. As for how they start to explain that and stuff like that, again, you'll have to watch the movie. There's a bit more of an explanation behind that than I told you. But again, what I just told you was what they said in the trailers anyway. But they do add like a couple extra pieces to it in the movie so that you can kind of see how does Death come after people, and you know why it's coming after that family in particular, and what the ramifications were of people surviving and all that good stuff. So it's very interesting. Like I said, this movie opens up a lot of different stuff for Final Destination I would like to see in the future. Yeah, I'm down to see another Final Destination though, and I'm down to see them do something different with it. I think the serial killer will be a good idea. I think there's other ways you could do it too, especially since you introduced that more than two people who have premonitions can, in fact, exist within the same world. Like, I think that opens up a story possibility too, to where you can have two different people having premonitions, and within the same movie, like by the end of it, they kind of like intersect, and now they have to be responsible for each other's death in a way. And I think it's a lot of different interesting things. Studios, take that with you if you will. I don't care. I think that's a pretty good, dope idea for a Final Destination movie. But all in all, yeah, this is a great movie. I thought it was good. It was funny. Funny for me, right? Seeing people die, but just funny the way it happened. It's what the funny part is. And I'm not the only one who thought this was a good movie. I've talked to people who saw it. They said it was good. I've seen a lot of people say it was the best of the Final Destination movies. Critically, it's been holding up about above 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is the highest grossing of the Final Destination franchise. It is the most well received of the Final Destination franchise. People are fucking with this. People loving it. It is getting so much acclaim. What do I think of it? On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this. I give it about. I give a solid 4. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. Like I said, I would have wanted the payoffs to the death setups to be a little stronger, but it was still good. I It definitely has a lot of the other problems that the other Final Destination. I can't speak now. That the other Final Destination movies do have, such as the suspension of disbelief. Some of the visual effects are a little, fake looking and stuff like that. But again, you're not here to see high quality visual effects. You're here to see people die in ridiculous ways. I'm sorry, that's what you see Final Destination for. It's gonna look ridiculous because we don't know what that looks like in real life. So I forgive them for the graphics, like, isn't it? Or for the VFX. It's not even a big deal. But they have a lot. You can tell they had a lot of fun with the movie, and I had a good time watching. So I give it solid 4 out of 5 stars. It was good, and I would like I said, I would like to see something cooler in the Final Destination universe moving forward, not just the same thing. And this one did a good job of switching it up so far. I like to see how they can switch it up in the future. So Final Destination, Bloodlines, now playing in theaters, still playing in theaters. Go check it out while it's still playing. Like I said, I just saw it like the other day, so I'm new to it, so I thought it was great. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys right now. Just thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button down below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. I did get a comment. I knew I saw a comment pop up on the screen. Anime Nights. I'd like to form an Anime Night 89. I'd like to formally apologize because I did not. I knew I saw your comment pop up, but I couldn't find it because I'm doing this on my phone. It's a different format for me lately until I get my laptop fixed. But it still shocks me that 6 revealed that the people who died from 1 to 5 are related to those who were supposed to die. Yeah, I mentioned that. That was a very interesting thing. I like that, and it's very interesting. So, like I said, it gives this entire franchise a clean slate in a way, because if death was only after people who survived, that were descendants of the people who survived. Rather, that's what I meant to say. If death was coming out of people who are descendants of the people who survived, then what would he come after next? Or what other things could happen in this universe that aren't based on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very interesting. I mentioned it earlier. Go check it out. Go run this review back if you just got here. Run it back. I mentioned my idea for another Final Destination in future of the universe. So go ahead, check that out. It's in this video. Rewind it a bit. But I'm gonna get out of here. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, leave a comment down below, hit the like button, let me know what was your favorite Final Destination. If you remember what all 5 Final Destinations were about, let me know, because I forgot what the 4th one was about. I know the first one was the plane, second one was the car accident, third one was the roller coaster, and the 5th one was the bridge. But I forgot what the 4th one was about. So let me know in the comments if you know. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Final Destination was. What your favorite moment from this film was, what your favorite kill is from Final Destination. Let me know everything Final Destination is pertaining to you in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch is where we do gaming, and occasionally the Last BrickWall podcast, and Instagram is where I do mini reviews. And that's it. I'm out of breath. Until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy. Peace.